Hi, my name is Timuel Black, and former professor at city colleges. And teacher in Chicago public schools. I support Jesus Chewy Garcia because I've had experience with him since 1983 and have been very proud of being related to his political behavior.
My name is Asean Johnson. I am an 11-year-old activist from Marcus Garvey School. I am now in 5th grade, and I am currently focused on what our schools need and what we deserve.
Tell me, who was Marcus Garvey?
He was very instrumental in taking us as African Americans back to the motherland of Africa. And I think the name of the ship was the Black Star. What was the feeling that you had after Dr. King had that speech on the March on Washington?
Oh, that speech was inspirational. And he finished it by saying, I have a dream. And his dream was not just about African Americans, but about all people, Protestants, Catholic, Jews, all people, that one day we would walk together, talk together, be together as friends. And that speech inspired most of us to come back to where we lived, to try and make things better where we were.
He has these ideas that he's got from, it started with Gandhi, then it came to him, and now we're in this generation where there's attack on public schools, and we have to do this non-violently and find a better solution other than violence. He has built that mindset into me that I was like, I can be Dr. Martin Luther King. I want to be Dr. King. I want to be an activist. I want to do this. I want to be Dr. King, because he was that person that was very important in that civil rights movement. And I feel that if we can have people like Dr. King come together and work as a unity, we could fix the problem in Chicago.
And I went to Montgomery from that time on, continued in the civil rights movement, helped to organize the March on Washington of 1963. I was in Birmingham. I was in Selma at the Selma riots.
How do you feel about the 50 school closings in 2013?
Some of those schools might have been necessary, but why not involve the people in the community?
I think all of those schools should stay open. They said that they were underutilized, but if you would have invested in those schools, maybe it wouldn't be underutilized. Maybe it would have resources.
An elected school board would be responsible to the community that elected. It wouldn't be the mayor who sits away from the school and is only guessing, and who doesn't even have children who go to public schools. Why wouldn't his children go to public schools? They don't.
My school has 36 kids in a classroom, but when I was in 3rd grade, there were only 19 or 20. And I think the reason is because of the budget cuts, and what happened to our school is that they cut our teachers, so they had to put all of our students into one classroom, and that really messed us up. If we don't have more staff, who will you get for that one-on-one learning that some kids need who don't understand?
Mr. A. Philip Randolph, who knew, by the way, Marcus Garvey, and Dr. King asked me and another person, and we organized the school boycott. Why? Because too many African Americans or blacks were in overcrowded schools where they were going to had 2 times as many as the schools in the adjoining whites. One of the objectives was to get rid of the superintendent his name was Willis, and he had put what we call Willis wagons, or portables, outside to contain the black population, where there were empty classrooms in neighborhoods right next to it.
When I was in 4th grade, we could not do projects that we really wanted to do because of this testing or these standardized tests that we had to take every Friday. That's what really killed the fun out of learning for our schools, is because instead of teaching us more about our history or about math or reading, they had to teach us about this test instead of us actually gaining information that can one day help us in life. I wanted to show my fellow peers, like, hey, you can opt out, but they never believed me. But they was like, no, I'm afraid that they're gonna close my school from us opting out.
The stable community has good schools which have parent-teacher relationships that make that young person feel safe and comfortable, and therefore much easier for him or her to learn what is the things that are necessary for them to move to the higher level and make a better world.
Like at first I was really sad. I'm like, dang, our school's gonna close. What can we really do? And then I really thought about it, and I was like, we can do like how we did, like when we did a strike. We got 7,000 signatures in the whole Washington Heights community. For our first meeting, our whole Marcus Garvey staff, parents, students was there. We filled up one whole, it was in church, and you can imagine it was a very big church. We filled up one hole in the background, and then we filled up in the side. And that's why I was like, wow, we must really be a good school if all of these people showed up to save our school. If we work on violence in schools together, and we stop the violence and stop all this killing, and we have good schools and equal funding in these schools, I think we can fix those problems in Chicago.
I want a mayor who can be independent. The current mayor is a product of the establishment of the organization that has helped to create many of the problems that we have today. As Frederick Douglass said in the early days before the Civil War, he who pays the fiddler calls the tune. And therefore, if those at the top politically are being controlled by the moneyed interest, then they feel obligated. It is important to start at the local level to have the kind of candidates and have their victory that will represent the interests of the future of young people like LaShawn and his peers. And my job is to help open the doors for young people like LaShawn so that we can make this a better world. Those who are in control now, unfortunately, want to control it so that it will be their world rather than our world. This world is our world. It's not their world.
I also think that to be mayor, you have to focus on the people, not about yourself. And what I mean by that is focus on the communities, focus on our schools, focus on everything else but yourself. I think the mayor should provide happiness. Like, he should always have that trait, like he can come out into the community and you could feel that type of environment to feel happy and be like, I like this mayor, and you feel good about yourself. I think it's kind of time for us to have a new mayor that cares about us, and that cares about our education and our quality, and that cares about our city.
I have known Jesus Chuy Garcia since 1982. I see him as the candidate to unify all communities with a quality of life dedicated to jobs, education, safety in all communities of the city of Chicago. And I want you to understand that we shall overcome. We shall overcome one day. Deep in your heart, you must believe we shall overcome. Do you understand?
Yes, thank you.